Okay, so let's do a little bit of a unit showcase. First up is Dark Corvus. Uh, Pulled him about 2 weeks ago. Currently used for my arena defense, and will probably use him for one of my Guild Wars defense teams if it's 2 teams. I used him for one of the Abyss levels where it was says where he heals if he has a debuff on him, and I didn't want units to have S1 debuffs, and he can't debuff because he only has Provoke, which can't affect bosses. He scales off HP, so built with mainly HP percent. So pretty easy to gear because not many units want Golem gear because everyone wants speed with Wyvern gear, so it's not a problem. When I initially built him, I was like, oh nice, I've managed to build a HP scaling unit with a lot of crit damage, which is really good for a defender because you want to kill stuff if you can. But then I read his S3, and it doesn't scale off of crit, or rather it can't crit. It's not so this set could really be changed, but it is a lot of health. It is a really good health set, so he's alright. Not really used much. Zeno I don't use, so what I did, I swapped Dark Corvus gear on Zeno, seeing as Zeno is also HP scaling, but he can crit. He just doesn't do that much damage, so I didn't really invest much into him. Obviously he's maxed out on this. Dark Corvus only got the skill cooldown for his S3, which is worth it. Haste. Before I used Haste for nearly everything, like he's so good. I used him for loads of Abyss at low level, I used him for my Wyvern team and my Golem team. Now I don't use him for my Wyvern team because it's a speed team, but he's still used for Golem because he's got the heal block. So he's built with like my third best speed set, I would say. And he's pretty fast, so he's built basically with all speed, a bit of attack. I think attack here, and what's this? Yeah, crit. So he's built kind of as an attacker, but I didn't really worry as an attacker, I just wanted speed and effectiveness was the key. So he would always land his debuffs, because that was the goal that he wanted for. So pretty useful. Still don't have a very good artifact for him though, so not that good. Says, don't really use Says anymore, only use it at the start of the game. Probably I'll use it for a Banshee 10 team when I start that, but I'm not going to do that yet. He has one of my original destruction sets, which I was just super lucky to get early, but I don't really use him now. He's kind of just holding gear. Iserai, she's got, well, maybe she's got my third best speed set, I suppose, and maybe Haste has my second best. This ring is really rubbish. I can't get a good speed ring, so that's pretty bad. I use her for a lot of stuff that, because she has buff block and buff strip. She's good in PvP if I wanted to use her for that. Right now I just use her on my Wyvern team, but just build her fast. She does alright damage, I suppose, not really. Assassin Cartuja. He is on nearly every single team because of his evasion ability, which is absolutely insane. Just gave him the Abyss lifesteal set, works really well. Doesn't do that much damage, but everything else he's bringing, just this evasion ability, that's basically all you need him for. But this stun is good, just got the cooldown reduction there, so not bad. Shadow Rose, my latest pull, so she is going to be given more speed. I can actually make her a bit faster here. She needs to be 200 also, or higher than 200, 210, 220. But she'll be used, well, she's used now on my Wyvern speed team, and I will use her for Arena and Guild War. She'll be first or second. Achates, don't really use her much anymore. She's mainly used in Raid if I want to use her there. I used her in some Abyss. She was used in my earlier teams when everything was safer, but she's just holding gear now. Armin, don't use Armin at all anymore, but I did use Armin loads in early Adventure and early Abyss, probably early Golem team, just for safety, but I don't use her anymore. Probably could though, probably could put her on some sort of defense stall team, I guess. Not a bad unit, I quite like Armin. Commander Lorina, just recently used her again, was one of my first DPS after Says, but then I benched her for a little while. And she just recently picked up the lifesteal set from Abyss because I didn't do Abyss because I was just bored of doing it. So she's now used on my Wyvern team, my Golem team. She'd be used to Raid, she's just used everywhere, and because she's on lifesteal, she's pretty strong. Falconer Kluri, this is the I think she's actually probably one of the top 3 units in the game. She's basically used in every single team I have. She just heals the team on her own. She always defense breaks. She's manipulating the readiness so much. She's absolutely ridiculous. So I made her super fast. 212, right, actually moves before the Wyvern on Wyvern 10, and everyone said it's 220. Even me, I say it's 220, and that's what the data mining says. So I wonder if they nerfed it. I don't know, but anyway, just built tanky, just HB and speed. That's all I cared about. And effectiveness. I actually think this effectiveness is a little too low, but I can't really change anything, or I lose her speed, and that's not worth it. Luckily, these 2 things can still give me speed when I plus 15 them, so I hope she could get to 220. I think with that. Carmainrose, my other DPS, I basically use her everywhere. I think she's super underrated, and more people should use her. I use her in every single bit of PvE content. She buffs herself, she heals herself, she's built fast and with damage, so this is speed on boots here. Also invested here on double cooldown reduction, so pretty decent. She just does a hell of a lot of damage, and combat readiness manipulates, very strong. No, I don't use anything else. My next project will be Cidd, coming up for Guild War. I got these pretty sick boots. Because these are epic level, they actually have 5 more speed. I didn't even know that could happen, but it apparently can. So he'll be my next 6-star, and he'll be ready for Guild War, and look, he's already 170 speed and he's not even got a complete set on, so he'll be around 200 speed, and he'll probably go with a team like Shadow Rose, Kluri, and Cidd for my Guild Wars team. So yeah, that's a little unit showcase.